welcome into another episode of the Chuckin Buckets, part of the Fan Addict Sports Network. You already know All-Star Weekend's right around the corner. Gonna dive into that. UConn Marquette, top 5 matchup, all of that right after this. Go ahead and spin that intro. Yo, KB, welcome back. Welcome back. How you doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Hey, man, All-Star Weekend coming up on deck. We got some cool events going on. First, who you liking in this 3-point contest?
Man, 3-point contest, man. That's tough, man. Looking at the just to kind of run through the participants right quick, man, for everybody kind of listening in. Like, I mean, we got Malik Beasley from the Bucks, Jalen Brunson from the Knicks, Halliburton from the Pacers. We got the defending champion in Dame, Laurie Marketing from the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, like Donovan Mitchell, Carl Anthony Towns, and then we got Trey Young kind of ending that group out, man. This is a tough one, man. I mean, you got a lot of good shooters, man, and in here, and even if I look at Tyrese Halliburton, which I know he's kind of been in it before as well, like don't think of him as a 3-point shooter, but I know he can drain it. You know what I'm saying? I know he can knock it down. If I'm picking, man, I think this is the time give a little shout out to your Hawks, man, and your boy Trey Young, man. I think I see Trey maybe kind of getting hot. This is the season that his name's been thrown out there as far as trade rumors, right? And where do we move in the organization? I can see him like have a little chip on his shoulder with all that kind of going on, and come in here and just stealing one, man. But I like Trey right behind him. I can see Brunson. I can see Brunson. Brunson's having a great year. He can consistently knock down the three wide open. He can definitely knock down the three, what I'm saying, with no type of defensive pressure on him. So between those two, man, I like the two in the top, those two men in the finals, and probably Trey pulling it out.
Yeah, give me icy Trey for the dub. I'll be liking my Atlanta sports team, so I like the swag he plays with. So I look for him to pull it out. Next on deck, slam dunk contest. Man, we were looking at that field, kind of light in the pants, but who you like in that dunk contest?
Man, not gonna lie, man. Not as exciting when we talk about names, man. But I think it's been like that the last few years, and it's been one of the opportunities as far as the NBA slam dunk contest. How do we get better? How do we get the big names in there? But looking at this year, we've got 4 contestants in there. We've got Jalen Brown from the Celtics. We've got Jamie Jaquez from the Heat. Mac McClung, defending champion from the G League. I think everybody loves Mac. And then we got Obi Toppin from the Knicks, and a little bit of another tall guy in the slam dunk contest. I've personally never been a fan of that because I do think it gives them a little bit of disadvantage when you get that smaller guy like Mac that can do the same things, but it looks better, right? When he's like 6 foot or 6'1" or even under 6 foot for some guys that've been in here previously. Um, but looking at this field, man, I don't see how Mac don't go back to back. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how McClung don't go back to back. Like we know the history on Mac from the YouTube time, you know what I'm saying, the Georgetown when he bounced around at least in college as well. But what I'm saying, he's been up and down as far as the NBA goes. But I think I see Mac, going back in the bag, man. He's got the YouTube following behind him from years past, and he's gonna have some tricks in his bag.
Yeah, look, man, Mac is unfortunately, I don't see him ever cracking a roster and staying up in the NBA for 82 games. But until he decides to go play overseas for an entire season, that slam dunk contest is his to lose. He definitely has the biggest bag with that. He has a huge following from back when he blew up his junior year in high school on social media. So I definitely see him running away with that thing. And hey, man, look, last but not least, on the All Star weekend, they're doing a special this year. You got Steph Curry going up against Sabrina from the WNBA, each one getting to shoot with their ball from their 3-point line. Who do you like in the special 3-point contest?
Man, just to kind of speak on the concept, man, I do love the concept or the integration as far as when we talk about WNBA and NBA. Obviously, I know from a WNBA perspective, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get a little bit more inclusiveness when it comes to those ladies and those women over there. And I love that part of it. But man, if I got to pick, man, I love Sabrina, man. I love the Sabrina's shot. I love her in-game performances, and no diss at Steph because we know what Steph brings to the table. You'll say arguably probably the greatest shooter in the NBA. But I think it's Sabrina, man. When she can get hot, man, she can knock them down just like Curry, man. And I see it. I'm gonna go on the women's side this time, man.
Hey man, look, shout out to them Oregon Ducks. We throwing the O's up for Sabrina. I'm not saying that it's rigged, but I'm also saying Steph got 0% chance to win this thing. Sabrina's gonna walk away with it. Take that how you want it. But look, man, it should be a great weekend for basketball. It's a fun, exciting weekend. It's All-Star weekend coming up. You gonna be able to sit down and watch some of it, or you got other things going on?
No, I'm definitely planning, man. Might be out and about a little bit, but definitely want to, see the 3-point contest, slam dunk contest, and no matter who's in that dunk contest, I still like to watch it. You know what I'm saying, and just being a basketball fan, you know what I'm saying, being a love for the game. So,
Oh, I got you, man. Well, flipping the script, Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. on Fox, we have a killer basketball game. Top five matchup as number one UConn is gonna host Marquette. Man, what you liking about this top five matchup?
man, you talking about some early March Madness vibes, man. Like I think we've seen, a couple games over the last couple weeks on the men and the women's side. But when we look at this Big East matchup, man, like we got two definitely probably Hall of Famer coaches that, when it's said and done, going head to head, man. We know what Shaka brings to the table. We know what, Dan Hurley, his lineage, right? You know what I'm saying? From Bobby Hurley to the Daddy Hurley, you know what I'm saying? Like we know what it's going to be. But I love it, man. I think they, for some reason, I feel like they split, upcoming, like UConn gets this one. Marquette comes back, you know what I'm saying? A couple weeks, they play again in a couple weeks, right? And then obviously they'll have the Big East tournament, but UConn, seals up that number one bid going into the tournament. And I like UConn, man. I think I like UConn by, about 8 or 9 points when it's said and done. Just some fouling going on at the end of the game that stretches that lead out.
Yeah, looking at it, very similar teams as far as three pointers made, free throw percentage, field goal percentage, turnover rate, all of that stuff. Very, very similar in how they play. UConn scores a little bit more a game than Marquette, but across the board, very similar. Both teams use their depth as far as how they play people minutes per game. Um, I know Marquette plays 8 guys, 15 plus minutes a game. Like both teams do a great job with that. I'm very interested to see how this plays out because Marquette has so much more on the line, right? With UConn, they're 22-2. The number one seed is all but locked up for the NCAA tournament. It would take a disaster for them to fall off that one seed line. Whereas Marquette is currently number four in the country at 19-5, but they're not really solidified in on that one line, right? Which is kind of weird being the number four team in the country. So they still have some work to do, and potentially how this plays out, they could find themselves not only falling off that number one line, but potentially falling off the number two line back down to a three seed as well. So
Yep.
I'm very interested to see with the amount of pressure that if that adds any pressure. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they're loose and they just go play basketball. But right now, as it stands, Marquette is currently 2 games back of UConn in the Big East. They still get to play UConn twice. UConn still has to go to Creighton as well, which could be another difficult game. So plenty of work to be done to allow Marquette to still potentially win the regular season Big East championship. But I definitely think Marquette's playing for a lot more, especially on the March Madness side and the seeding side, whereas UConn is pretty much a foregone conclusion that they're going to be on that one seed line, whether it's the top overall seed or somewhere they're a one seed.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt. I can definitely see that, man. This March Madness is going to be crazy, man. I was just having some conversations the other day, man, when we talk about like teams in the ACC, right? Obviously, I'm a Duke fan, but I've got in the group chat we got some North Carolina fans, Clemson fans, whatever. But like, we don't even see the ACC. Saying a clear number one going into the tournament. Saying Duke's got some losses, North Carolina's got some losses, even the Clemson's got some losses, but to your point, as far as Marquette being able to creep in somewhere, I can see it because of these other conferences not having like clear cut number ones, saying going into these tournaments. And yeah, they can get one of these and finish out the season strong. I can see them definitely in a strong two.
All right, man. We're fixing to jump into predictions, but before we do, everybody out there in YouTube land, hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help the algorithm, help us continue to put out more great content. Jump in the comments, give me your score prediction, give me any hot takes you got on the game. I'm in the comments 24/7 with you guys. If y'all want to talk trash, y'all want to talk good basketball, whatever y'all want to talk, I'll be in there with you, cutting up. But KB, man, hit me with your final score prediction for this game on Saturday.
I think I see a low scoring game, man. I think I see something in the maybe high 50s, low 60s. I'm putting UConn 61 and man, maybe an 8 point game, 8 point win for UConn going into that thing. But I'm gonna put UConn by the 61 range. I'm seeing 25, 30 each half. Low scoring defensive type game, March Madness type atmosphere, and not the high scoring that we've kind of seen previously. Because obviously they average more than that, but I think we'll see a different feel for this.
All right. So I kind of went back and forth on this. Obviously Marquette coming off a tough win against Butler. Woo. Bailey squeaked that one out. That was probably closer than what some were anticipating. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to go to Connecticut and pull off the upset. So I'm taking Marquette to win 72-68, knocking down some free throws late to seal the victory for them. I'm expecting this to be a dang good basketball game. Both of these teams are deservingly so ranked in the top five, and I think this is just going to be good basketball.
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely looking forward to a good weekend here.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it for KB. I'm the stat guy. This is Chuckin Buckets. Keep shooting your shots, and we'll see you next time. Peace.